So breakfast is really a great idea to help us leverage best management practices in our community. But what I was puzzled by is I'm a lawyer, and lawyers are viewed as somewhat of a drag on the economy. And so why, if you're looking for best management practices, would you invite a lawyer? I also thought about looking at this table. Most of the folks here manage thousands of employees. But then it occurred to me what my value is, and that is managing 30 lawyers is far more difficult than managing thousands of employees. And how do we go about doing that in our staff? We first start out, we really only have one business strategy. And that business strategy is to get the right people on the team. And we spend lots and lots of time doing that. We start out by hiring. When we're hiring practices, literally our standard is to hire from the top students in the top schools in the country. And we've done that now consistently over 3 decades. And the last 3 hires that we've had this summer were from Harvard, University of Chicago, and University of Virginia. But being smart is simply not enough. It's just to get you in the door. And amazingly, we have had individuals who have graduated at the top of their respective classes, gotten perfect scores in their LSATs, and let me tell you, that's less than 20 people a year in this entire country do that. But yet we've had people not succeed with that type of academic achievement level. So we have to look at some other factor, and it's an intangible factor, and that's the ability to problem solve. Academically, smart people can manage or learn lots of material in volumes. But if they can't synthesize it in a way that solves problems, we do not have the value we add that we need for our clients. So how do we find that? It's extremely difficult. And we will acknowledge that we fail, and we fail more often than we would like. But one of the things that we look at is we ask them, give us some idea, give us an example of something that you have done where you have made a difference. You made it happen. And if we call people in the room and ask them to verify who was responsible, they'll point to you, whether that was a community volunteer activity, something you did at school, or some activity. But we want to see some evidence that you were able to make something happen. That, to this point, as simple as that may seem, is probably the best indicator, but it's hard to find in young people because in many cases, all they've done is study very, very hard and get good grades. But we're looking for is that rare individual that not only got the good grades, but they had something else on their resume that indicated that they could get something done. The next thing that we're looking for are people that will work in a collegial way or would put an emphasis on the greater good of the organization and actually put the greater good of the organization ahead of themselves. Now, when you think about it, a lawyer is the antithesis of that in many cases. Because what we're trained as advocates. We're trained to argue one side of a case zealously and to win that case. Because there will be a judge or there will be a jury that makes the determination as to who is right and wrong. Absent from all of that is the idea of consensus building and collegiality. So what we're looking for also, what is that intangible factor that takes this very strong advocate, a gladiator of sorts, but at the same time can switch it off and sit down in a partners meeting or sit down in a contentious meeting with clients and adverse attorneys and find that solution in a very difficult situation. Where we have the best indicator is someone that has been involved in activities, not singular activities like debate or being a great golfer, but activities where they work together as a group, not once, but multiple times. And we've got one example in our firm, and he's a young man by the name of Matt McDermott from Carroll, Iowa. Well, when you looked at Matt's profile, brilliant, law review, graduated high in his class at Berkeley, but at the same time, when you looked across his profile, involved in many, many activities. Yes, there were political activities. Yes, he was a Republican, but there were many other things, social activities, human service activities, and so on. And what we saw in that was a combination of things, that a person that had multiple gears. The last thing that we're looking for is people that give back. And like Sukuradia, what we're very proud of, our lawyers, our firm gives back not once but multiple times. Thank you.